Truly the devil. And I hate you. 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 And I want you to know that.
Too late, the peanut vendor will be gone, and then I am sure you will be.
Они поделили, блядь, ощущение как рождественская декорация с сиськами, голыми, красота какая, ах ты, здорово.
Видишь ли, это, блядь, чтобы полис, пикчик, пошла нахуй, сука, блядь, что значит падла? Падла, полева, а пикчик, валит, понятно, падла, вали, пикчик.
Нет services, your front line. The leave for baseline border. Hold silence. Not keep. Picture, I see. No.
If I do even disc with comp, they immediately start persecution direct, bursting into a place and block apparatus. That's what I also said about the plane. That after plane flies, the apparatus stops its works. Stop its work.
In recent years, YouTube has become a platform where anyone, no matter how unconventional or how obscure their story may be, can share their own truth with the world. But every so often, you come across a channel that doesn't just tell a story, it leaves you confused and with far more questions than answers. One such channel belongs to Matskovich, better known online as Refbatch. See, when she first started uploading videos to YouTube back in 2008, her content, it immediately stood out. Her videos were raw, unedited, and often filmed in just one single take. Sometimes in dimly lit rooms, other times out in public spaces. She would speak directly to the camera, sometimes hurried, sometimes frantic, switching rapidly between Russian and English, even in the middle of sentences. Damn, her monologues were just difficult to follow. Disjointed and definitely chaotic. But if you pay close attention enough, you could begin to piece together a troubling narrative hidden behind the surface.
14th June 2008, and I would like to inform about how authorities persecute my recording on camera. This is non-stop persecution of recording of my videos with my testifying. That it's not possible not to stop anywhere, not to prepare, not to use cosmetic, not to draw, not to think about what I'm going to speak about. They immediately send people who have special apparatus, and what kind of apparatus, what kind of technique they use against us, you will understand better if I'll explain how it works. First of all, they imitate the batteries. That batteries are out, as if batteries immediately stop work. They say your batteries are out of charge. Well, and second, sometimes apparatus just stop. This Samsung video recorder just stop to record. It does not record as yesterday an effort of unsearched arrest of us by police, who directly came on open threatened to me and insults and said that it is forbidden for me my recording in English, and they consider that as a hooligans. It's interesting. Russian authorities, Islamistic Russian authorities, consider talk in English as hooligans. Today they teach us everywhere, wherever we stop. These people just, or in civil, to say that. Well, and apparatus stops to work. They don't give to prepare, to collect, even to draw. If I do even disc with comp, they immediately start persecution direct, bursting into a place and block apparatus. That's what I also said about the plane. that after plane flies, the apparatus stops it work. It's not non-stop persecution. They are not going to stop. They don't hide that. Just people send about people burst into this and stop this. Okay.
Хулиганизм полз.
Sienna claimed she was being watched, followed, drugged, and silenced. She said she was the target of constant surveillance and harassment. And according to her, the damn Russian government was behind it all. Now, depending on who you ask, Anna was either descending into madness or fighting desperately to keep a grip on reality while trying to expose something sinister, maybe in their government. The claims were serious, but the way she delivered them, they were fragmented, erratic, and without any concrete proof, no evidence. All of that only deepened the confusion around her channel. Then, there were her dances. In many of her videos, Anna would suddenly break into short dance routines, often improvised, and performed in odd locations, such as forest paths, snow-covered streets, and even empty hallways. There was no music, no intro, and no explanation. The dances, they existed without any context, which gave her channel an eerie, surreal tone. I mean, in one particular video, distant gunshots could be heard in the background as she dances in silence. Yo, and she never even acknowledges the gunshots going off either. But perhaps the most bizarre twist in her story is a strange detail that adds another layer of mystery. See, around the same time Anna Matskovich began posting on YouTube, another woman by the same name, a professional ballroom dancer, had apparently vanished from public life. According to the World Dance Sport Federation, Anna Matskovich had been competing in international dance competitions throughout the early 2000s, and then, without any warning, her name just disappeared from the records. Whether these two Annas are the same person, all of that remains unknown. But the timing, the name, the dancing, and the strange content of the YouTube channel have led some to speculate that something much deeper and darker may be hiding behind Refbatch's videos. Her final recorded appearance as a competitive dancer was in 2008, the very same damn year the YouTube channel Refbatch first began uploading YouTube videos. Now, to be clear, there's no confirmed connection between the two identities. No photos and no official records link the professional dancer to the woman on YouTube, but the overlap is difficult to ignore. The identical name, the timing, the shared focus on dance, it may be coincidence, but if they are one and the same, it does cast her videos in a very different light.
Book this before announcement last week. And they tried to evacuate me to the country. With blackmail, said the emotion videos and family. My right, my civil life.
They could be echoes of a former life, flickers of a past she's trying to relive or preserve. As time went on, Anna's online presence grew, increasingly erratic. She began posting with alarming frequency, sometimes dozens of videos in a single day. Each one was short, often under a minute, and filled with the same frantic, hard to follow energy. Her video descriptions were just as chopped up. written in broken English, long strings of words without punctuation, filled with warnings, desperate pleas, and cryptic references to surveillance, imprisonment, and silencing. The themes repeated over and over, as if she were stuck in a loop, trying to get a message out, but never quite able to say it in a way that everybody could understand.
Dispute my right on life, right on face. Right to face is of course important, the most. And I have other what to do, what to say. If I only leave house earlier, on time, or come on time to times. Ну везде останавливаться около меня, фабриковать, оскорблять.
Anna's husband, Maximov, is another key figure in this strange story. Maximov has made serious claims about what happened to his wife, stating that she was forcibly detained by the Russian government and committed to a psychiatric facility against her will. According to him, this was a deliberate attempt to silence her while in confinement. He alleges that Anna was subjected to harsh and dehumanizing treatments, including the administrations of powerful psychotropic drugs. Some of the video descriptions offer disturbing narrative events as well, particularly one detailing what happened to Anna on August 15th, 2014. According to Maximov, his wife was attacked in the Moscow district of Kameny by a group of hooligans who ended up cornering her inside a post office and then called the police. And rather than helping, the police allegedly assaulted Anna and forcibly took her to a psychiatric clinic based on false accusations. 4 days later, on August 19th, she was brought before a court, reportedly under the influence of strong psychotropic drugs administered by the clinic staff prior to the hearing. Maximov claims that despite his objections and him insisting that Anna was institutionalized based on fabricated lies told by paid informants, Judge Matlov of Moscow's Lubinsky court ruled in favor of her involuntary treatment. When Maximov visited her the next day, Anna reportedly told him she was forbidden from moving freely within her isolated room. She was severely restricted in basic hygiene. Maximov said he reached out to her doctor, urging her not to violate Anna's basic human rights. On August 21st, he contacted Deputy Chief Dr. Fedin, who allegedly told him that only Anna herself could sign a cassation appeal to challenge her psychiatric detainment, leaving Maximov feeling powerless to act on her behalf. This is all a deeply unsettling claim, but unfortunately, not without precedent in Russia's history. During the Soviet era, psychiatry was frequently used as a tool of oppression. Thousands of political dissidents were labeled with sluggish schizophrenia, a bogus diagnosis created to legitimize their confinement in psychiatric institutions. The so-called treatments they endured were nothing short of torture, electroshock therapy, administered without anesthesia, forced insulin-induced comas, and heavy, debilitating doses of antipsychotic drugs. Although the use of punitive psychiatry was officially abandoned in Russia during the 1990s, which is extremely close, by the way, there have been reports suggesting that the practice may have quietly returned.
We ordered them to take medical character measures against Mikael Kosenko, specifically compulsory treatment in a psychiatric hospital.
In any case, we will make an appeal and then we will file a complaint with the European Court of Human Rights.
This man was sentenced to be treated in a psychiatric hospital by force. Punitive psychiatry, that is. Psychiatry used as punishment only existed in Soviet times.
Since 2012, multiple cases have emerged where psychiatric confinement was allegedly used as a tool to suppress critics of the government. Whether any situation fits into this disturbing trend or is instead the tragic result of mental illness, paranoia, or a shared delusion between her and her husband Max. All of this is difficult to determine without certainty. It's really hard to follow Anna's online descent without asking, is she truly a victim of her own mind? Or is there actually some hidden truth to her claims? Despite the lack of clarity, one fact remains undeniable. Anna's channel continues to grow with more than 100,000 uploads. Each video adds yet another cryptic piece to this confusing ass channel.
If I do even disk with comp, they immediately start persecution direct, burst into a place and block apparatus. Not non-stop persecution, they are not going to stop, they don't hide that. Just people send about people burst into this and stop this. Okay.
Хулиганизм полз. But this before Japan announcement last week, and they tried to evacuate me to the country.
Closing all of a sudden.
Been sharing this with us.
Now this might be one of the most confusing and unsettling users ever found on YouTube. The channel is called Vera Krotoeva, but the name is misleading because the person behind it isn't Vera. It's a man named Peter Shepkin, a name that only really became clear after digging through thousands of erratic, disturbing uploads. The channel was created in 2018 and stayed active until the end of 2019. And during that time span, over 1,400 videos were uploaded to this channel. And what's in those videos? Footage of people completely unaware inside their homes, hallways, bedrooms, courtyards. The angles are static, often posted from a single unmoving source, giving the eerie impression that the camera was hidden. So to me, this was a stalker's channel, because these people weren't acting. They didn't know they were being watched.
Ты не развлекал?
Ключи где? Нет их у меня.
Спиздили, бля, ебать. Тебя что спиздили быстрее, бля. Я говорю, тебя спиздим, бля, ебать. Без тебя, блядь. Спиздили, бля. Кто спиздил, бля? Что, здесь воры такие, что ли, сидят, охуевшие? Дверь нам открой, бля. Нашла его? Да. Все. И не ори больше на нее никогда, блядь. Давай не ори на нее, блядь.
Some of the footage appears to come from rented apartments, others from what looks like communal housing. But no matter the location, the perspective remains the same. Still, silent, and always watching. What truly amplifies the unease, though, are the video titles and the descriptions. The titles are cryptic, sometimes just jumbled strings of numbers or letters. But other times they're referencing names or phrases like smoking spice, a slang term for synthetic drugs. The video descriptions are worse. Incoherent rants, angry tirades, and paranoid ramblings written in Russian. And apparently even fluent Russian speakers say they struggle to make sense of it. Over time, as viewers combed through the chaos of this channel, one name began to surface: Peter Shepkin. Turns out Vera Krotoeva may have been a name Peter borrowed, perhaps someone he knew, or simply a pseudonym. But Peter didn't stop with that one channel though. He created at least 3 more under his real name, one of which now contains over 1,000 more videos. These new uploads were even more revealing. They show his face, his voice, and his increasingly fragmented view of the world. In one clip, he shouts out a window, threatening to post a man online.
Говори, что хочешь. Чё сразу? Значит, вы бандиты, раз вы камер боитесь. Значит, вы что-то плохое задумали.
Я не плохой задумал.
А чё ты хорошее задумал? Я лично от камер никогда не прячусь. Чё, ничего я тебе не обещал.
Ты сказал, приди, я тебе сниму эту фотку, я тебе видео принес. Снимешь? Петь, по-человечески.
Ты мне не нужен заходить сюда, понимаешь? Нет. Я сейчас занят.
А как мне тебе передать, Петь?
Оставь, вот положи, я выйду возьму. Вон, запхни в эту. А, ладно, телефон оставь. Значит, вы идете сюда, я вас не просил, чтобы вы шли. Значит, и кто-то вам еще виноват. Вы, конечно, оправдываете свои поступки на 300%, а их всего 100. Не надо было сюда приходить. Здесь 2 миллиона людей.
He refers to himself as a second-degree disabled person, and he frequently, though unclearly, talks about his mental health. And this is where things become complicated. Is Peter the perpetrator of a vast privacy violation? Like, is he a stalker? Or is he a man consumed by paranoia, trying to document a distorted reality that only he understands? Some people believe the footage came from unsecured camera streams, like the ones available on sites like Instacam. Others argue he personally installed the cameras, possibly in buildings where he lived or places he had access to, like with work. We may never know the full truth, but what we do know is that thousands of videos exist. Videos of real people in real spaces being watched and recorded without their consent. Y'all be pissed if I ever see my face on a channel like this. When that's what takes this from bizarre internet oddity to something far more disturbing. This isn't just digital detritus or a strange performance art. It may very well be a serious violation of privacy. Whether Peter understood the gravity of what the hell he was doing, that shit is up for debate. His disjointed speech patterns, obsessive focus on neighbors, drug use, and supposed corruption, all of these hint at a deeper psychological issue. Some commenters attribute it all to severe mental illness. Others argue that illness doesn't excuse what's been posted, or the fact that most of it is still online, but that's YouTube's fault. The last known video was uploaded in early 2024, and after that, nothing. No updates, no explanation, just silence. There's no dramatic ending to the story, no twists, no satisfying reveal. Just some man, unknown, possibly unstable, endlessly uploading random recordings of people that he's captured. If this ain't a stalker channel, then I don't know what is.
как нажимать. Там не дует уже. Я тоже погрузился зачем. А вот собачка человечку. Какие ребята? Ну я не знаю, но не взрослые.
In 2021, 23-year-old Chao was steadily gaining popularity on Douyin, China's version of TikTok, and through a mix of videos and live streams, she grew her follower count to over 100K, though she wasn't yet a major influencer yet. Many believe she was on the road to internet fame. Still, she remained focused on building a stable life for herself and her young family. I mean, she was already a mother of 2 children. So to support them, she held a demanding job as a crane operator, a profession few women would willingly choose. The crane she worked with often rose hundreds, sometimes thousands of feet into a year. But Chao didn't shy away from the risk. Instead, she embraced them, turning her unique job into some content for her social media audience. Her videos from high above the construction sites, along with popular dance clips, made up the bulk of her growing viewership. By mid-2021, she began live streaming while on the job, giving her followers a glimpse into her daily life from the crane cabin. On July 20th, as her shift was winding down, she started another stream, but tragically, that day would be her last. While the full recording of her final stream is no longer available, there is a short 2-minute clip that survived it all. It begins silently, as she had been singing along to copyrighted music, sitting alone in her crane's small cabin, 160 feet above the ground, completely unaware of the horrific fate that would soon happen. She then sat her phone down, with the camera still rolling, giving viewers a raw, unfiltered look into her world. Fans quickly flocked to the live stream, enjoying every moment as she danced high above the ground in the crane's cab. But the mood shifted instantly. See, while the exact moment of the incident has been cut from the surviving clip, and likely out of respect for Chao, what followed was devastating. After finishing her dance, she began making her way down the narrow steps of the crane, 16 stories high in the sky, and tragically, she slipped. And what happened next was horrifying. She reportedly fell all the way down to the ground, striking multiple steel bars from the crane as she hit the floor. It's believed she was still holding her phone during the fall, and that the device continued recording even as she plummeted. She was killed instantly upon impact. I can't even begin to imagine what it must have been to see that live, to see such a sudden and brutal death happen in real time. And in many ways, it's kind of a relief that the full footage of her fall has pretty much vanished from the internet. Shit, I know I wouldn't want this to still be on the web if this was my daughter.
See? It's not so hard after all. Once you get the hang of it, it can be easy to rig a load safely. It was to be his third jump of the day. The veteran jumper had been shooting tape with a specially rigged camera when he jumped this last time, just seconds ahead of an instructor and student whose fall he was recording. Then, to his horror, the cameraman realized that he was without a parachute. And well out of reach of the other jumpers, these images are the very last he ever recorded.
It was a beautiful, sunny spring day in April 1988 when Ivan Lester Maguire, a veteran skydiver with over 800 jumps under his belt, was eager to soar once again. That day marked his third dive, and alongside a student and an instructor from the Franklin County Sports Parachute Center. Along with those two, he boarded the aircraft for their ascent. Now, determined to document the dive, he lugged a bulky VHS deck and recording gear in his backpack, all connected to a specialized voice-activated helmet. Now remember, this was the 1980s, way before the age of GoPros or HD cameras in your phones. None of this shit was lightweight. Upon reaching an altitude of 10,500 feet, the divers received a signal to jump. The plane's doors, they swung open, and Ivan was the first to leap out, clinging to the aircraft's side to capture a perfect shot of his companion's initial jump. Once he released his grip, he turned his gaze upward, focused on recording their successful deployment of the parachutes. In that fleeting moment, as the student and instructor vanished from the frame with their chutes unfurling, Ivan continued his own freefall. Now came the critical moment, when it was time for this man to deploy his own parachute. He instinctively reached for the release cord, only to be struck by a horrifying realization. He didn't have a parachute. Ivan Maguire continued plummeting toward the earth, his camera still rolling, capturing every chilling second of his final moments. His body was later discovered in a wooded area, roughly a mile and a half from the airfield. The impact shattered the equipment, destroying the final portion of the fall on tape. The footage that did survive, though, had to be carefully pieced together from the remains. Authorities launched an investigation to determine whether there were any signs of foul play or even a possible suicide, because a diver packing a parachute is normally second nature to them. But to completely jump from the plane without one, both of these were ultimately ruled out, though. Nancy Fard, the wife of the parachute center owner, Paul Fard, described Ivan as something as a perfectionist, especially when it came to filming jumps. It's believed that the man became so focused on getting the perfect shot that he simply forgot one crucial step: strapping on his own damn parachute. What stands out most in the surviving footage is how fast the student and instructor disappeared from view the moment their parachutes deployed. It really shows you how fast this man was falling, descending deeper, camera recording it all, until everything went silent. On the night of February 20th, 2003, the rock band Great White, they took the stage at The Station, a small nightclub and hard rock venue located in West Warwick, Rhode Island. Now, despite the venue's official capacity being set at 404, a total of 462 people had managed to stuff themselves in a 4,400 square foot, single-story, wood-framed building just to see this band perform. Around 11:07 p.m., the house lights dimmed and the band appeared on stage. And to enhance the spectacle, colored stage lights and 4 pyrotechnic devices were activated as part of the opening act. And within seconds, tragedy began to unfold. Sparks from the pyrotechnics made contact with the flammable foam on the club's walls and ceilings. Just 9 seconds after ignition, flames were visibly climbing the wall, and within 19 seconds, the fire reached the ceiling. At first, many patrons thought the blaze was just part of the show, but when thick black smoke began to billow and spread, the horrifying reality began to set in. This shit's really on fire. Roughly 40 seconds in, the band stopped playing and the fire alarm sounded, though it wasn't connected to the local fire department. The station, this place also lacked a sprinkler system, a critical safety measure that could have slowed the spread of the flames, maybe even stopped it. After this, panic erupted. While some patrons fled immediately, many were delayed or trapped due to blocked exits. It was too many people in there. And the bouncer reportedly prevented people from using the rear exit, as it was designated for band members only. This forced the majority of the crowd to funnel toward the front entrance. People were seen diving out of windows and piling on top of each other in a desperate attempt to escape. And the result was devastating. A total of 100 people lost their lives. 96 of them perished at the scene, while the other 4 passed away due to their injuries in the hospital. Over the following weeks, over 230 others suffered injuries ranging from burns to smoke inhalation. And this fire not only claimed lives, but it left a permanent scar on this community. And legal consequences definitely followed. In 2006, Great White's tour manager, who had ignited the pyrotechnics, pled guilty to 100 counts of involuntary manslaughter. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison, serving less than half before being released on parole. To honor the victims and preserve the memory of that night, the Station Fire Memorial Park was established on the site of the former nightclub. It officially opened in May 2017, standing as a solemn tribute to those lost and the lives forever changed by one of the deadliest nightclub flyers in United States history. Now, they say snuff films don't exist, that they're just twisted rumors whispered across the darkest corners of the internet, dismissed by authorities as grim urban legends. But in 1999, a chilling case out of Germany completely shattered that illusion. 2 men were arrested after police discovered a recording, not just a violent video, but something far more disturbing. It had been meticulously planned, filmed, and intended for sale. For the first time, investigators had undeniable proof that snuff films weren't just sought after, they were being made. For decades, people have debated whether snuff films are real or just the stuff of legend. The concept first entered public discourse in the 1970s, when rumors began to circulate about underground filmmakers creating movies that captured real murders. Grisly scenes sold quietly to private collectors. And these weren't films advertised in theaters or stores, but ones passed covertly from hand to hand. It was a horrifying idea, but there was no solid proof, and just whispers and speculation. Then, in 1976, a movie titled Snuff was released. It claimed to show the on-camera murder of an actress. Though the killing was staged, the deception was powerful enough to breathe life into the myth. And possibly because of that is why it never fully died out. From that moment on, snuff films became a permanent fixture in internet folklore. A disturbing rumor that refused to fade. People had seen real murders on video before. Cartel executions, terrorism propaganda, and other horrifying content, often buried in the darkest corners of the web. But those weren't made to entertain, and they weren't filmed for profit. That's what set this case apart. In 1997, two men in Germany, Ernst Dieter Korsen and Stefan Mikael, created what is now considered the first confirmed snuff film. According to prosecutors, their goal wasn't shock value, but cold hard cash. They planned to sell the footage overseas, where such disturbing content could allegedly fetch over 10,000 euros, or roughly $13,000. On the night it all began, the two men cruised through Cologne's red light district, where they approached a 21-year-old sex worker named Julia Appenor. They lured her with drugs and the promise of money, convincing her to accompany them to a secluded farmhouse in Ronshaw, roughly 60 kilometers away. Once inside, they bound her wrists and ankles with metal banding tape and began filming. Korsen carried out the assault, while Mon operated the camera. But partway through the horrific act, Julia stopped breathing. She died before they could complete the footage they had planned. Frustrated, but still intent on finishing their so-called project, they struck again, just days later too, by abducting another woman near a Christmas market in Dortmund. This time, their victim managed to escape, and her survival set everything into motion. Authorities traced the men back to the farmhouse, and what they uncovered confirmed their worst fears. Inside the farmhouse, police made a grim discovery. The body of Julia Appenor, discarded carelessly among piles of rubbish. Her wrists and ankles were still tightly bound with metal banding tape, the edges having cut deep into her flesh. A forensic examination later confirmed what investigators feared. She had been strangled to death. As the investigation unfolded, it became evident that the attack had been meticulously recorded. This footage, which was intended for sale, became undeniable evidence of their intent. Both men were arrested and charged with murder. A judge sentenced them to life in a secure psychiatric facility, which is crazy. They should be in jail. Korsen would not be eligible for parole for at least 18 years, Mon for 15. But what shook investigators the most wasn't their brutality, it was the motive. This wasn't a spontaneous act of violence. It had been methodically planned, captured on camera, and priced for sale. It was created with an audience in mind. Prosecutors claimed that there was already a market for this type of shit, particularly in the United States. A market for videos showcasing real, graphic violence and death. And to them, this case was proof that such a network wasn't just urban legend, that the shit was real. Yet strangely, almost no one knows about it. For a case this significant, the first time a court officially acknowledged the existence of a genuine snuff film, you'd expect it to be common knowledge, taught in criminology courses, maybe cited in journalism, mentioned in every debate over whether snuff films are real. But aside from a single documentary and a handful of archive reports, this story has quickly slipped into obscurity. If a shadowy market for this kind of footage truly exists, something prosecutors suggested outright, not conspiracy, then why isn't this case held up as undeniable proof? I feel like the audience for this market may include some people high up in the government. Maybe the truth is more terrifying than the myth. As for the footage itself, his fate remains a mystery. There's no doubt it existed. His presence was confirmed during the investigation, but what became of it after the trial is unclear. It may have been destroyed, or it could still be out there somewhere, unlabeled, hidden, quietly circulating the darkest corners of the internet that most people will never see. Shit, either way, even if I did have it, I'm pretty sure I would not post that on YouTube. But snuff films exist, y'all. Don't let them tell you otherwise.